Hey folks, Mountain Parson here, up here on Tiger Mountain. It's been a kind of rainy, damp week here in the Pacific Northwest, which gives you the full experience of being in the Pacific Northwest. So glad you're with me today. And as we are, we're continuing our discussion on do not judge, or you too will be judged. And the idea that we don't have the information necessary to forgive or to judge people as we ought to judge them, and therefore it's probably not in our wheelhouse to go ahead and do that. So Jesus has a lot to say about forgiving people, and at one point his disciples do come to him in the New Testament and they say, hey Jesus, we have an idea. If someone sins against us, how many times should we forgive them? Now I want to tell you before what they say next is, in the Jewish economy in which they lived, and their understanding of what it was to be good, faithful, righteous Jewish men in that day, they were required, according to their faith, to forgive people 3 times. That is, if someone sinned against you, you forgive them. If they cause problems again, you forgive them a 2nd time. And then even a 3rd time, if they're problematic, you forgive them. But that's it. And after the 3 times of forgiveness, then you can bring judgment against them. And so his disciples come to him and say, Jesus, how many times should we forgive someone? Now the disciples have been walking with Jesus, and they recognize that Jesus is working on expanding the understanding of what it means to be a faithful follower of God beyond the Jewish understanding, beyond the Old Testament understanding. And so he's been saying things like, you have heard that it is said, but I say unto you. And so they're picking up this vibe from Jesus, like there's an expansion of what it means to be a follower of Jesus. And so they say, Jesus, if someone sins against us, how many times should we forgive them? Up to 7 times? And in their minds, this was a great expansion. It was more than double what was expected of them in their day, more than double what the Jewish rulers and authorities would have thought that they should do. And so here they are, followers of Jesus, becoming more like him and recognizing the expansive way in which Jesus is working in the lives of people. And they say, how about up to 7 times? And they kind of step back and feel pretty good about themselves, I think, at this moment. They're saying, hey, this was really magnanimous of us to double the amount of time, and even beyond that, to forgive someone over and over again. Now, before I tell you what Jesus said in response to them, let me visit with you for a moment about what it means to forgive someone 7 times. You all have people in your lives who can sometimes be difficult, sometimes be very difficult, sometimes be egregiously difficult, and you've forgiven them a couple of times. You've said, well, okay, let bygones be bygones. Let's work on being together. And you've done that a number of times, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4 times, and you're thinking, whew, this person is really difficult. I don't know how much more I can stand. And you know that every encounter with them seems to be one of trouble and difficulty, and you almost don't want to be with them, and yet here they come, and you think to yourself, 7 times? To forgive someone 7 times, 7 different instances of hurt in my life, and I'm to forgive them that many times? I don't know if I could possibly do that. So what the disciples were talking about was in human standards a pretty big deal. And Jesus responds to them up to 7 times, and they step back kind of proud of themselves. And Jesus responds by saying, well, fellas, how about this? How about 70 times 7? Now, I know you all have calculators, and you can do the calculation. That's 490. 490 times of forgiveness. Now, that's a lifetime of forgiveness. Jesus wasn't talking about a number that you could arrive at, 490, that we're going to now, 491, I'm not going to forgive you anymore. But Jesus was talking about infinite amount of forgiveness, that a lifetime of forgiveness, that the person in your life who seems to be always transgressing, always causing difficulty, always just hurtful, is to be forgiven again and again and again. Because this is what forgiveness looks like. Genuine forgiveness has no limits. And as Jesus forgives sinners, as he comes to die on a cross to bring forgiveness to all of humanity, he knows no limits to his forgiveness. That in fact, Jesus wants us to be imitators of him. And so in that imitation of him, we are to be forgivers over and over again. Now, that's a big calling. That's something that's beyond my own capacity as a human being, and I imagine beyond your capacity as a human being. And so how is this even possible? Well, the possibility arises in the fact that I enter into a relationship with Christ wherein he leads me into forgiveness. That he reminds me regularly that I've been forgiven probably multiple more times than 490. That the transgressions I've carried against God himself, the transgressions that I've given to Jesus, probably enter into the thousands. And yet, I'm forgiven of them all, every one of them. And that's an astounding thing to me, that Jesus knows my thoughts, he knows my heart, he knows my attitudes, he knows my prejudices, he knows my actions. He knows all that about me, and yet he comes to me with continuous forgiveness. And Jesus is trying to teach his disciples and us that if we are to be followers of his, there's a forgiveness that we're supposed to offer that is beyond us, that is not of us. It is Christ's forgiveness. It is the forgiveness that comes from walking with a God who has come to die in my place. The God who took on flesh, lived among us for a while, and then carried a cross to a hill and died on it. And as he died on that cross, he said, "It is finished. I have paid the price. The price is fully paid. All forgiveness is offered. Father, forgive them. They don't even know what they're doing." And as he died on that cross and then rose again on the third day, he offers to us over and over and over again the forgiveness that we are to offer to others as well. And so, my friends, when you hear those words, "do not judge," recognize that the judge has forgiven us. And because the judge has forgiven us, we are all forgiven. God bless you. I hope this is helpful for you, and I hope that you're enjoying these videos. If you are, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mountain Parson, and hit the like button and the notification bell so that you'll know when new videos are up. So thank you for participating in this. And as I've alluded to earlier, we're going to do a special series of messages during Lent. That starts right after Ash Wednesday. During Lent, we're going to meet every day and do a devotional time during that Lenten season. So if you want to be a part of that, subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll get all of the notifications and be a part of our Lenten series. So thanks for all your participation. We'll see you soon. In the meantime, forgive as you've been forgiven. God bless you.